All right, the time has come. The time has come, YouTube. What's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. So we've been working on this this whole 110 variant thing, right? And I said I was going to do a video that displays the ones that I have. I obviously don't have every one made by everyone, so this is just going to be of the ones I have, the variants I have, which one would be better to own, keep, have, use, collect, whatever. So we're going to break down a few of these, and actually we're going to break down all of them, and we're going to go. So now I have the Buck 110s. The old ones came in a leather sheath. The new ones come in this nylon polyester sheath. The Uncle Henry comes in a leather sheath, and the case come in leather sheaths. The K-Bar does not come with a sheath, nor does the Ocoee River. However, this one has a pocket clip, the K-Bar, so doesn't need a sheath. And you can use any random one size fits most sheath. I have a tactical gear sheath for something like this, or any of these really. So let's go over the sheaths, and right away the Ocoee River and the K-Bar do not compute. They're not part of this. So let's go over the rest of them. Old school Buck has old school leather sheets. This thing is from the 70s. It's still good. It is a great sheath. Old school. New school, you get this one, and I am not a fan. Not a fan. So when we're talking about sheathed products and the 110 variants, the one that, you know, the master of it all, the Buck 110, puts out the worst sheath from the ones I have, right? So the Uncle Henry was LB7, is that what it is? This one right here, Bearpaw, I think is the other, what it's called. This one has a leather sheath. It's a decent sheath. It's kind of stiff. It doesn't, I mean, it smells like leather. It's not a really soft leather, really quality leather, but it's leather. It holds it. It looks good. How is it going to look over time? Is it going to be this in 40 years? I doubt it. But for right now, this is a nice leather sheath. Gets the job done. So then we break into the case. The Hammerhead and the Mako are the two I have here. Both the same pretty much sheath, different color, obviously different size. These sheaths, instead of doing a sewn-on belt loop, these sheaths have the cut-throughs, and I like this better because they're never going to fall off. You know, this I don't have to worry about. This one is sewn on, and it hasn't fallen off, but you can see, you know, I mean, it's okay. But these right to the blade's not going anywhere. Your knife isn't going anywhere. The sheath's not going anywhere. Perfect belt loops in my opinion for these. And the leather, these are the kind of leather sheaths that after 40, 50 years are still going to be leather sheaths. These are awesome. If I was going to sell you into a knife because of the sheath, I would sell you into the case. Collectability. The Ocoee River is not a collectible knife, right? It's a cross country variant. There are billions of them made, and it's not going to be something worth collecting. The K-Bar is a user, not a collector. This thing is a very good knife, but again, it's not a collectible so much as it is a knife you buy for an everyday carry. The 110s. The 110s, however, now these are collectible. Depending on what the year, especially these newer ones, they are nothing yet, but in 60 years, this right here is going to be a knife worth having. This one, the old one, is definitely collectible. It's definitely worth keeping. It's definitely worth having. Again, I turned mine, this used to be a clip point. I turned it into a drop point. I did a fine job, if I do say so myself. But this is going to be something worth holding on to, even though I never plan on selling my knives, so that part doesn't matter to me. It really is a collectible. Now we get into the case. Case knives are the most collectible knives in the world. Case is the number one on the planet collectible knife. So when you're looking at the Mako and you're looking at the Hammerhead, these knives, if you're buying for collecting purposes and you want to eventually have an heirloom that's going to maintain some kind of value and be worth something, these guys right here, the case, are the knives you want to have. All right, so let's get into some measuring. Most of the time, they're pretty much the same size, and we will find out exactly how they hold. So the K-bar, 5 inches closed. The Ocoee River, 5 inches closed. The old buck is just about 5 inches closed. It's a little short. The new buck one, buck 110. That was what I said. I don't know if I said it, but let's see. It's 5 inches closed. So the 110's 5 inches closed. All those so far, 5 inches closed. The case, 5 inches closed for the Hammerhead, and the Mako is the small version, and that one is just a little over 4 1/4, maybe 4 1/2. 4 1/2 inches closed. So let's get into blade lengths. This one, the Mako really shouldn't count in this because it's a small version, but it is what it is, and it's great. And we're looking at 3 1/4, it looks like. The Hammerhead blade length is going to be 3 3/4. The buck 110, the one that I made up and done different, is 3 3/4. I think they're all pretty much the same. No, 4 inches on the K-bar. It's a little bit longer. The new 110s, the current 110s that you get from Buck, are 4 inches. And the Ocoee River from Frost Cutlery is going to be just a little over 3 3/4. So they all run between 3 3/4 and 4 inches, except for the Mako. All right, so we're going to talk about girth now and how wide they are. We're going to start with the one that's already in my hand. At its widest point, the Ocoee River is just a little over a 1/2 inch. Just a hair over a 1/2 inch wide on that one. Now we will go to, did I do the LB7? I think I left that thing in its package. I didn't even measure that one. All right, so the Uncle Henry, the Bearpaw, we're looking at 5 inches closed. I was wondering where that thing went. I knew I was short one. And we are looking at a blade length of, let's line this up, 4 inches. And we are looking at a overall thickness of, again, it's the same exact thing as the Ocoee River, just over a 1/2 inch. The K-bar, not including the pocket clip, we're not going to get into that, would be cheating. We're looking at about a 1/2 inch, same thing. So all of those are the same thickness. Now we're going to get into, actually, let me measure the case, because this one feels like it could be about the same. And again, it's over a 1/2 inch. So you're looking at 9/16 for all of those. Pretty much that's how, that's the depth on those. Even the Mako is just under that. So the Mako's a 1/2 inch. So pretty much 9/16 is average girth on the 110 style that's not made by Buck. Buck, however, is a little bit meatier, and you are looking at, it's real slippery. You're looking at almost 3/4. Wow, you're 1/16 under having a 3/4 inch thickness on the new one, and the pretty much the same, about 3/4 on the old one. So those haven't changed. Those are some pretty girthy girthy knives in the hand. And how do they feel in the hand? When I put a buck 110 in my hand, I know without a shadow of a doubt I am holding a knife. I'm holding like something meaty and strong, right? You just get that feeling, you know, it just feels good. Reverse or forward, you get a great feel. It fills the hand, and that thickness is just what makes it so solid in the grip, and I absolutely appreciate that. When we're talking about the case blades, the case blades are thinner, but the contouring is just better. It's just nice. It again, you know that I'm gripping a knife. You can see how it just pops out at the end, and it just feels really good by way of the shape. But that thick buck 110 is just completely different. Now, talking about the Bearpaw, so the Uncle Henry and the Ocoee River. This one, I have to say, feels like more of a knife in the hand than this one. For some reason, they're the same thickness, but I don't know if it's the bone, the texturing in the bone handle, but it just feels like less of a knife is in my hand than this one. This one feels heavier. You know, it's more weighted. And even though there's the same thickness, for some reason it feels thicker. And I'm guessing it's just handle material, that plain wood against the blue pick bone. It just, for some reason, that one feels the thinnest. This one, it's kind of hard to tell because you do have the pocket clip, but without the pocket clip, you could feel that G10. It feels nice, and it feels almost the same as the Ocoee River. So if I was going to say, all right, you know, the best sheath, obviously the case has the best sheaths. They're just the best. The most collectible, the case is the most collectible. The best feel in the hand, the buck 110. The buck 110 just feels so good in the hand because it's so meaty and thick. The best pocket carry. If you were going to carry one of these in a pocket and you didn't have a sheath and you were just going to fold and drop, boop, into a pocket, the best EDC, without a belt, the best EDC is going to be the K-bar because of the pocket clip. As far as improvements and a way to keep up modern edges, this guy right here has a jimped spine. It has thumb studs. And it has a deep pocket clip. They're all lockbacks or back locks, and that is something special. Having these thumb studs, you know, just gives you an easy open. If it came down to everyday carry without a sheath, I'm talking if you didn't have a sheath only, because with a sheath, the 110 and they all carry the same. It's on a belt. Pocket carry for pocket carry. The K-bar is your best pocket carry. Handle material, pick bone, G10, and the rest are all wood, right? Wait, except this case is the black something. It's a smooth, I can't remember what it's called on the Hammerhead, but it's a smooth, black, beautiful, I think it's the prettiest of all. That one in the blue pick bone is just gorgeous. But definitely as far as feel of the scales, I would have to say the G10 has just the nicest overall scale. It has good grip and just a good quality feel to it. It's well contoured. It's edged out nice. Very, very well done. Best looking, I have to say that the Hammerhead is just a crazy good looking knife. Crazy good looking. This solid black panel is beautiful. Beautiful. The way the pins are in. As far as fit and finish, nobody's fit and finish is better than that. You talk about the buck, all these pins are raised, every one of them. You feel every pin, they're rounded, right? On the case, everything is, you can see, look at the fit and finish from there to there. The buck 110 is a great fit and finish. The case is just better as far as that's concerned. The bolsters are beautiful, but the pins just are absolutely flush. I can't really say anything about the pins on this one because it doesn't have any. Those scales are glued on. And the LB7, the Bearpaw, the Uncle Henry, while those are flush pins, I can feel them. So if I run my finger across here, I can feel every pin. So blind man, that almost became me. The blind man can feel those pins. This one, if you give this to a blind guy and say, find the pins, he's going to say, you just can't find them. They're nowhere there. Like my eye, I just can't find it. I just poked it out. So that for that. Now we're going to talk about the opening, right? The thumb groove. And this one is kind of cheap because it has thumb studs, but it also has the thumb groove in case you don't like the thumb studs. So let's go over it. It's a rectangular, like in the case, but it's very shallow. So when you talk about nail opening, and I'm going to use just nail, and I don't even have nails. This one opens okay, but it's a very, very shallow thumb groove right there. So let's go to the Uncle Henry with just the nail. It opens really easy. I have to say that is a really nice open. The thumb groove is nice. It's deep cut. Feels very, very good. Out of the 110s, I'm going to only use the new one. It's not fair to use an old knife to try and test against a bunch of new knives as far as fluidity and ease of open and all that. But this one, again, it's just very, very easy. And this is for someone without a thumbnail, opening only from the thumbnail. This one you can feel is a very deep groove. It feels very well. It opens excellent. Now, we get into the Ocoee River. Again, very big thumb groove. It's dug in really nice, really deep. Perfect. And last we'll do the case. And we're not going to use the case Mako. We're going to stay with the Hammerhead because the Hammerhead is equal size to the rest of them. This one I brought out because it is a variant. It's just a smaller variant. So we're going to exclude that. So here in the case, you have the rectangular thumb notch, just like on the K-bar, but you can see the difference. The thumb notch on the case is just beautiful. It's big and it's deep and it's awesome. And it opens very, very easily. My favorite thumb notch, I have to say, is on the case. I like that big rectangular thumb notch. It's kind of hard to say which one's better, though, because they all open with the same ease, except the K-bar. The K-bar has the worst thumb notch out of the group. Steel. I forgot what the 5CR15 is the K-bar, right? 5CR15. You can see the nice spring tension there too. And on the Bearpaw, the Uncle Henry is 7CR17, right? And on the Ocoee River is 440 stainless. On the Buck, it is 420 HC. So when people hear 420, they automatically say, oh crap, it's 420. Remember, most quality dive knives are made of 420 because they resist rust in a great way. They're fantastic for blades that you need to use every day and get wet and get dirty and get slimy and nasty. Great blades. You clean them off and boom, you're good to go. It's going to stay forever. The HC is very well hardened 420, so you will hold an edge longer than you will on a plain 420 and longer than on a 440. So that's good. The case uses the case patented True Sharp steel, which, I mean, these stay sharp. I'm going to show you. This is an older knife. I've had this now for over a year. I am easily, I'm trying to catch them all, easily shaving hairs with this. You can see the hairs on there. Easily shaving hairs with this blade. No matter how old it gets, no matter how much I use it, True Sharp remains truly sharp. It is like a German steel. It's kind of like a 4116 German stainless. Just, they do it so right. So right. So if I was going to say which knife has the best steel, or which steel would I want more on this knife than any of these others that I have, I would definitely take this steel in the case. When it comes down to pricing, you're looking at, the case is going to be your more expensive blade. Your Ocoee River is going to be your least expensive, even though it comes with some of the nicest scales. That blue pick bone, guys, I mean, oof, that's beautiful. But that's going to be your cheapest blade right there. So your mid-level in price, I believe these 110s are around 60 bucks. You can get them at better prices than that. The K-bar is dirt cheap. These things, for a great EDC, they're about 25 bucks retail. And that's retail from K-bar, which means you can find them even cheaper if you really looked. And the Bearpaws are like a $30 knife somewhere in there, I do believe. So the only one that you're paying the extra money for is the case, but you're paying for a blade that is going to A, maintain its value, B, rise in value, and C, you're going to have your best steel along with your best fit and finish. Total package-wise, let's break them down from worst to best. Total package, even though I really like this knife, the Ocoee River by Frost Cutlery, this is one of my EDC switch-offs, and I like it. I mean, I really, really like it. You can see this blade. It's a used blade. This is a blade that I take out and I use. You can see all like the bolsters. It's all used, right? This isn't a knife that I like. All these are in my EDC switch offs. But if I was going to say the last one I would take, just to take, would be this guy right here. Next, and this is kind of crappy to do to it, but I have to say, next, as far as last on the list, would be the Uncle Henry. The Uncle Henry, while it's a nice knife and it comes with a good sheath, it just doesn't have the overall quality as the others as far as build quality. So this one, while it's beautiful, and this one's more new, so I haven't really had a chance to use and abuse it outside of making a video for it recently, this one would be my next to last choice. I would have to say, even though it's the case Mako, best, better fit and finish, better steel, better sheath, but it's the smallest of them. And when I carry an EDC, I like it to be a little bit bigger. But it's gorgeous, man. This is gorgeous. And because I kind of want to stay in the 110 variant and equal to as far as size and all that. So now I'm going to take my old one and I'm just going to exclude that one from this race because it's unfair to add an old knife to a new knife. Knife off, I guess. So that leaves me with a modern Buck 110. That leaves me with the K-bar. And it leaves me with the case. Yeah. So I have these three beautiful knives to say if I could only have one of them. And if it came down to just pocket carry, I'd take the K-bar in a heartbeat. I would. If it was just pocket carry, I would take the K-bar. But it's not pocket carry. It's overall. And lanyard hold, jimping, thumb studs, Roscoe. Man, that's an everyday thing in these videos. Pocket clip, all this stuff. The satin finish, the G10. Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. I wouldn't choose this over these two. So we come down to these two. And it's the ultimate two, right? You have the case Hammerhead and the Buck 110, right? You have two of the most prolific knives in this category of knives. The Buck 110 sits in the hand like none other in this category. I mean, it's just amazing. I did design one that would do better, but I have to get that design put out there. But this thing feels great in the hand. Opens, closes beautifully. It's wonderfully thick. It's got a great fit and finish, and it's got a very nice steel. The 420 HE is very nice. This one has a better fit and finish. It has a better steel quality. It opens and closes the same and has a much better sheath. I mean, come on. It has a much better sheath. It's more collectible. It's going to hold an edge longer, blah, 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 blah. The only thing that the buck really has over it, besides being the original of them, I mean, this is like a 10 years apart. This one started in the, I want to say the 50s, and this one the 60s, or this 60s, 70s, one of the two. And you can see how much thicker the buck is. But if it came down to just girth, that's one thing, but it's not just about girth. It's overall. And I have to say, as much as I love this buck 110, and I'm a buck guy, love my bucks. If I could only have one, this is the one right here. This is the one, the Case Hammerhead. This thing is phenomenal. It's beautiful. It's sharp. It's strong. It's cleanly built. It has the better sheath. It's just a great, great freaking knife. So, the battle between the 110 variants, while it seems like it's kind of an easy decision, it's really not. I mean, the buck 110 using any knife to beat the one that pretty much started it all, it's a pretty tough find, and Case outdid themselves with this one, and that's why this would be my choice. Even though it's the most expensive, it's worth, I mean, it's worth the money. This thing's going to last forever. Awesome freaking blade. Yeah. Dropped one. Dropped one. Dropped one. We put this Ocoee River in the tactical gears pouch. And here we have it. And now we have a bunch of awesome blades. So that's it for this one, man. The group is done. It's decided. Look at that handsome man right there, Mr. WR Case. Looks like this just might go on my belt today too. I might just have to carry this one around, because what I've been carrying around ever since I got it is the Cold Steel SR1, and I have been using this knife, and it has been just awesome. What a fantastic knife. But this one's going to go on the belt. I might still keep this one in the pocket, but this one's going on the belt. And I'm going to go about my day. So, I am Donnie B all day. Boo! Until next knife. Wow.